Odd Conduit Media.
What's it gonna be?
You are now listening to the
Hey there, Nintendo fans! Welcome to another episode of
Hyrule Podcasters!
I'm your co-host, Pat.
I'm your co-host, Ben. It may have been a few too many weeks that I missed saying that, I have to say.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So this isn't a normal episode of our podcast. We're usually two brothers playing Zelda games. It's an audio-only Let's Play experience. You get to hear us play the game, yada, yada, yada. But we're on a break. This is the off-season, and we just are really excited to do some Nintendo stuff. So tell them what we're talking about today, Ben.
Yeah, primarily we're going to be covering yesterday's Nintendo Direct.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a little bit of a short episode, probably just, 10, 15 minutes, just some of our thoughts about what we saw, what we really liked, and we will definitely be touching on the on-brand Zelda elements that got announced yesterday.
For sure.
We will get there for sure.
I can't promise that I only have 10 minutes worth of content, but we can.
Hey, if you got more content than that, that's great. That's great.
I was lucky enough to I had a lunch date cancel, so I was able to watch the Nintendo Direct live. I know you were watching it. Maybe you were like 10 minutes behind me.
Yeah, I had just gotten, it's one of those things where it's almost like they happen so frequently. I had, I'd forgotten maybe a little bit, like not on purpose, but just like had forgotten just a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I remembered or why I remembered, but I remembered.
You got there.
Yeah, I started watching. I was about 10 minutes behind. It's not too far.
I think that there's something to that these happen pretty frequently. It's really nice of them to make a big show out of so many things, and I know that some of my friends who are Nintendo fans are like, that was kind of a letdown, or there wasn't any big announcement just in general at these announcements. But like, I don't know, I'd rather have more of these that cover, less exciting stuff than have to look all the stuff up on my own. It's really fun watching the videos that they put together for it.
And I don't see any other studio doing, like, nobody else does this. Like, I don't,
everybody else.
Do you know what's going on at Sony or Bethesda or, there's nothing else. So,
and it's up to YouTubers and podcasters like us to cover that stuff, but Nintendo does it for us. That being said, we're going to cover the coverage right now. The first thing that popped up was Monster Hunter. A bunch of dragons were flying around the screen when I turned it on.
Have you ever played any of the Monster Hunter games?
I have not. Honestly, all I want Capcom to do is make more Mega Man games. I'm kind of partial in that direction, but it looked like a really pretty game. And I'm sure that people who like dragon hunting or whatever that game is, it's like not enough information. Would enjoy that. It's just beautiful. There's this big purple dragon, fuchsia, maybe. I really like dragons that have 4 full limbs. It's a very like European style of dragon. So Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. It's DLC to the full version of the game. I'm not a big DLC guy myself, just because I don't do a lot of games that have DLC. But this looks
sure.
This looks like it's exciting.
Well, and I know that the people that love Monster Hunter are stoked about this. So good. I listened to the IGN Nintendo voice chat podcast. They also have a video component as well. Mm-hmm. And one of the main hosts on there, like Monster Hunter is her thing. Like she gets so excited talking about it. It makes me want to try playing it at some point if she is enjoying it that much. And one of the cool things is you can play online with other people to go fight like these gigantic monsters.
Oh, fun. You can do that together.
Yeah. It seems like it'd be a really neat thing to maybe spend some time kind of putting together.
I want to sabotage all these missions. I think the monsters are beautiful and don't deserve to die. I think that's a little Eastern of me, but I can have my opinions. Stop killing all the monsters. It does look like a really fun game though.
Yeah, doesn't it?
For sure. The next one that they announced, I think, was Mario Party.
Yeah. So we kind of have we have the clips going here behind us. So if you're if you're watching on YouTube, you can kind of see the clips that are going on behind us. But yeah, this is the Super Mario Party Superstars.
With 5 boards from Nintendo 64. When I was in DC just like a month and a half ago, we were sitting there like, man, they should just make the old boards DLC for this Mario Party game.
Right,
and
why not?
What happens? Bang! Look, new Mario Party with these older boards. So I still think it'd be great if they continued to put new boards out for DLC. But for now, I'll just be happy playing these classic boards updated. I wonder if it's going to be as cutthroat. I mean, did you play a lot of Mario Party in college?
No, Mario Party was not a big part of my college experience. We were pretty much playing
Mario Kart
and Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Well, and what I'm wondering is if this game is going to kind of take on the same life that the latest Super Smash Bros. Did, where it's like, you know what? Everything's going into this game. Like, just over time, they will just kind of keep adding to it. But we'll have to see. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. You know, we didn't play Mario Party. We didn't have Mario Parties at home growing up.
Right.
I think that was probably good because when I got to college and my friends were playing Mario Party, friendships were broken.
Is that right?
Controllers were broken. Yeah, one of my buddies, I remember he threw his controller while playing on my GameCube. And I yelled at him, and he has never picked up a game controller ever again. He even wanted to play Katamari and just didn't because of that incident.
Dang.
I'm curious if these boards are going to be as cutthroat, or they're probably. I mean, I assume they're going to be a little smoothed over to make it less intense and relationship ending. Is my guess. But regardless, I'm super psyched. I hope that I can play with people who also have the game across the country.
That's what it looks like. You know, they're doing the local and online, so that'll be really fun to do.
And I hope that you can do local and online at the same time.
Oh, right.
That's often something that is difficult to find, and I just hope that that's the case. I'm sure that if we researched it, we could find out. But hey, let's put some questions up there instead of just telling people facts. That comes out on October 29th, just in time for a very COVID Halloween.
Yeah. So the next two things that popped off were games that I don't know a whole lot about. So the first one is a card trading game, or a card RPG based game.
Yeah, I was wondering if you would be into that. I know you love board games, and I know that you love card-based board games, and you love RPGs. Do you think that you're gonna see what that's all about when it comes out?
I might. I'll probably wait to kind of see if some other people have some ideas. So yeah, the game we're talking about is Voice of Cards, the Isle Dragon Roars.
It looks fun.
Yeah, it does.
If you like that kind of thing.
I think some people are going to be pretty excited about it.
Up next, we got Disco Elysium.
So this is a game that I do know something about.
Oh, okay, go for it, because I don't.
Yeah. So essentially, it's an RPG, but you wake up as a detective, and based on the different ways that you, I guess, interact with the game and the kind of person you want to be, you end up solving the murder that's happened in kind of like different ways each time. So just depending on like what kind of character attributes you have is going to dictate how you play the game. So I guess it has a pretty high replay value. People seem to really like this. The folks that are over on the Triple Click podcast really loved this game when it first came out.
Shout out.
It's not like an action RPG, right? It's all about just like making decisions and seeing what happens and trying to figure out, what you're going to do based on what your character is going to happen here. So
cool.
Yeah, you can see like what's on the screen right now is you can, kind of see like you have some different choices to make. Right. And those are kind of based off like what your character would do. And it kind of increases and decreases like different stats based on that. So it looks really neat. Looks like something I'm really excited to see. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Yeah. You're going to have a fun time playing that for sure.
Right. Just something that is an RPG, but that it doesn't involve just like taking a sword or just like punching someone in the face. Right.
Yeah. And I like that it looks pretty, but it's a little like drab, everything's kind of messed up and dirty.
Yeah. I like the artwork style.
It's cool aesthetic.
Yeah.
Very cool aesthetic.
That's the right word. There we go.
That's the word.
That word.
AESTH, very strangely spelled word. Up next is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity Expansion Pass. Have you played this game at all?
So I played the demo when it came out. I played like 2 hours of it. And I think this is one of those things where I want to sit down and just play this game for like a weekend with you. Like that, I feel like, maybe like 15, 20 hours, maybe over like a long weekend or like, maybe a 3 or 4 day weekend. That seems to be the way to just, because, I was running around, I was, doing huge moves and knocking people all over the place. But like, I can imagine like doing that with somebody else there is, I feel like what would make this like really, really, really fun. So
yeah, definitely. I borrowed this from our friend Henry and I played a bit of it. I wanted it to be a 2-screen game. I wanted to watch movies while I played this. And it definitely commands your attention. And so I set aside some time to play it, but I eventually returned the game before I moved out west a couple weeks ago. And I would like to pick it back up. I think that it's so cool how they're fitting in the narrative of Breath of the Wild through this game. So if you're not familiar with Hyrule Warriors, it's a combination of Zelda and Dynasty Warriors.
Right.
So straight from Wikipedia, Dynasty Warriors is a series of Japanese hack and slash action video games created by Omega Force and Koei. The series is a spin-off of their turn-based strategy Romance of the Three Kingdoms series based on Chinese novel of the same name. So they combined this really cool game, Dynasty Warriors, with Zelda to just basically add some probably just to get some Zelda fans into this really fun, like, you're basically up against an army, and you just slash and slash and slash.
It's really, I had a lot of fun when I was playing it. I just wanted to play it with somebody else. Yeah, but it was great.
Yeah, it's very cathartic. I feel like that Breath of the Wild narrative is gonna be the dominant narrative from now on in the Zelda series.
For kind of our next chunk, of content. Yeah.
Yeah, they've brought all the timelines into one, and there's a direct sequel coming out. And these Hyrule Warriors, which clearly is probably where we got the idea for our podcast name, games are like providing more backstory. A problem I had with the game was that I was playing Breath of the Wild at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And it was like I wanted to go pick an apple off a tree.
Oh,
so
got it. Okay.
I'm going to wait until I've distanced myself from Breath of the Wild to let it be its own game, because it really is a blast.
Yeah. So then next up we had it looks like a Chocobo Final Fantasy racer. And Chocobo GP, right? And one of the things I heard some people talking about this on one of the on the podcast I was listening to. So we got a little game footage here, of it looking so cute there. It was essentially
adorable.
It was essentially, if Nintendo isn't going to come out with another Mario Kart, well, other people are going to start coming out with games that are very similar.
Oh, I didn't even think of it.
Mario Kart 8 is like 10 years old. And that's the last time
really
is.
Yeah. And they just keep on like adding to it.
What's like the number one selling game?
Yeah.
There are quarters. It is, it's just kind of like, well, why do they need to make another one? You know what I mean? Because of
why
that.
bother?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if this will be a competitor to Mario Kart, but it's definitely fun. I mean, it Diddy Kong Racing was a really fun game, and I feel like this is the same kind of similar game, but with a different theme. And I know that a lot of our listeners love Final Fantasy, and it's fun to see the characters that you love in different circumstances. Speaking of which,
so here we got the Super Smash Bros. Thing. Do you play much Smash anymore?
I do not.
Yeah.
I do not.
I don't play much anymore.
Smash Bros is an in-person thing for me. I like to hit, punch you in the arm if you do me dirty. I don't have as much fun doing it online.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I enjoy playing it in person every time I'm kind of in person with somebody.
Yeah.
But I'm not in, the last 2 years in particular, haven't been doing a lot of in person,
Right.
And I'm really looking forward. The last time I played was Halloween 2019. I was playing at a Halloween party, and the guy I was playing with, he's like, hey, just so you know, he was letting me know, he's like, oh yeah, like I play a lot. And I was like, okay, well, I don't play much, so just so you know what this is going to be like. He's like, oh, that's fine. He's like, I won't play my main character. I'm like, okay, great. Like, that seems fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I leveled him. Absolutely leveled him. But here's why. He only plays online. And when you're playing online, there's a bit of a, like, it's just a different button input structure in terms of, like, when you have to press the button to do the thing you want to do versus when you're in person. And so it was like he was just always late, or he just wasn't, like, and it was, so we eventually figured out, like, what was going on. But yeah, that was just one of those, like, funny things, that just kind of happens.
That's so funny. And now I get to talk about this 3D. So it's like an abandoned mall that you can see on the screen, and it looks nice, but it's overgrown. There's some birds, and there's a light flickering off in the distance.
I had no idea what this was. Did you have any idea what this was?
No, me neither. It kind of looked like Mario Odyssey. You know?
Definitely.
And I was like, oh, maybe they're adding some DLC to Mario Odyssey, and the screen goes black, and it comes in its palm trees.
Yeah,
and of course, I think Mario Sunshine.
Yep, for sure.
Immediately, and there's this beautiful.
And there it is.
And there's Kirby face down on the beach, and he wakes up looking adorable. Now I
was so excited, excited. I was like, oh my god, it's Kirby!
I know what, and he walks into these magical woods, looks around. And it's official. We're getting a 3D Kirby game after all these years.
Kirby and the Forgotten Lands.
Wow. Now, I beat Kirby on the Nintendo Switch for the NES Virtual Console.
Oh, okay.
A couple years ago when I was on tour. It was great to just play in the tour van while the band slept or whatever they were doing. I've logged the most time on this game in the NES Virtual Console.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is kind of surprising, but I just beat it front to back. I didn't 100% it. There's some extra secret levels, but I loved it. And then I went to play some of the other ones, and I just found them a little slow and a little easy for me.
Okay.
Which is kind of why I stayed away from the Kirby games in the first place.
There he is! He has a sword! Oh my goodness!
Yes, looking like Link with his little green hat on. And I wonder if that's a callback to Link.
Oh, I think it is.
The green hat.
I mean, come on. Like,
how is that even a question? But this looks just so much fun. You get this whole big 3D world to explore. I don't know how open world it really is, but it looks, it just looks freeing. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. I've played some of the newer Kirby's. I did find them to be a little on the easier side, and I'm wondering what that's going to be like with this game. But I'm interested to kind of see what that ends up being like, and to see if it's something that is really accessible for lots of people.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. What do we got next here? Some Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I think next is some information about Animal Crossing. Is that something that you ever
Nah.
Kind of, yeah. I didn't get into it.
I know, I have friends that love this game. I think it's dope. It's not my bag.
It looks like, they're going to be coming out with some more Animal Crossing. They're going to do a direct just for Animal Crossing in October, which is great if you're interested in something like that.
Mm-hmm. And then after Animal Crossing, it's this golf game. Have you played this golf game?
So I gotta say, I wasn't gonna buy it when it first came out. Like, I knew I wasn't going to, because I was like, I want to see kind of what they do with it, because some of the things I heard is that people were saying like, well, like it's a little shallow, but I was hoping that they were going to do a lot of this. And I think it sounds like they've already come out with 2 free DLCs.
Oh, cool.
And this is another game where, like, I got a buddy coming down this weekend. And my guess, I could see us like buying this game on Saturday and just like playing it for like 5 hours in the basement.
Make sure you buy it on Friday, because buying it in the moment, you got to wait hours.
Oh, for it to download. Right.
Yeah, it's not like going to the store. I mean, unless you get the physical, which still requires a little download.
I think something like that I might get the physical for.
Why not?
Yeah. So we have another Disney-based game.
Do you remember this Mickey Mouse game that we played in Indiana?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can't seem to find exactly which one we played.
Was that the 2D platformer, or was that
2D platformer? I think it might have even been almost black and white.
Yeah,
it's very not colorful. We should try to dig that up.
All right,
in town next.
So now we got Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. So this is an old school Star Wars, action RPG that people just like love. I mean, this is like has lots of lots of choices that you get to make during it. One of the first ones that kind of lets you kind of pick the way that you're gonna go. And I know a lot of people are excited to play. You know, it's like with a lot of us, right? I have a computer that I'm sure I can play that on.
Right.
But you know, I'm gonna play it on my Switch. Like,
yeah, because you can play your Switch anywhere, and that Pro controller feels so good.
so good.
And you know, it's dope. I feel like some of these Star Wars games are better than the prequels. I mean, clearly better than the prequels, but better than some of the sequels even. You know, people love these Star Wars games, and this is definitely a favorite. Now we're on to Dying Light, which is our mom's like favorite game.
yeah. I called Mom as soon as I saw this that it was because what I need to find out, the thing I don't know is if you can use cross platform play, because if they do, you, me, Mom, and Aunt Becky are definitely going to be playing this game.
For sure. That'd be a blast.
Yeah.
Just to kill some zombies, grow some food, do some parkour, look at a blimp, go to the old fisheye bar, and stay human above all.
Stay human. Yeah. So, so we'd be looking. Mom plays the Dying Light, the first one. So I'm excited to see if we can play with Mom, because that would be great. We'd have a ton of fun.
Yeah, and that's on February 4th. Oh, that's fun that they already have a date for it.
Yeah, and I know Mom's really excited about it too. Yeah, and then in the middle of October, you can play Dying Light.
Oh, the original, the platinum.
Yeah, the original. Yeah. So that's the one that
that's cool.
Mom plays all the time. So
that's her
jam.
Then
I heard some people having some fun with this game. So this game was originally called Project Triangle Strategy, because that was like the name, that was like the project name it was given. And then it's just so funny, they just ended up calling it Triangle Strategy.
Oh, they didn't come up with a fun name. They just left
the name. Yep.
I think it's lazy.
I think it's kind of funny.
It's funny.
Yeah. But this looks like a kind of a turn-based action RPG maybe. But this is one of the cool things they did, right? Is they did the demo, they did a survey with the demo, and then did something like this where some people were saying that they wanted to be able to adjust the difficulty of battle and things like that.
And they wanted to be able to adjust the camera. I mean, just crowdsourcing your game.
Review previous
as you make it is just such a great idea. And we're just like living in a time where you can actually do that.
Right. A nice kind of agile approach here to development.
The Snyder Cut approach to creating something.
Yeah.
Where you take some feedback and you make your thing based on that. And that's on March 4th, 2022. You can pre-order that if you want.
All right, so I'm going to pause this because I'm not sure. Did you watch this? I don't know if you watched it.
I muted it.
Okay. Do you want me? You want me to play? Okay. All right.
Yeah, you can play. So this, I'm like, I don't like spoilers.
And again, we're talking about Metroid Dread because we're still a podcast here.
Right. People can't see the screen.
Right.
So I am so excited for this game, which is why I'm not looking at the screen, because I want it in my hands the first time I really experience it. I think we covered this on our last.
We did. Yeah, on the
it has
E3.
It has the gameplay of Samus Returns, the remake of the Return of Samus.
From what we've seen so far,
was so good.
It felt good.
And
it felt real good.
It has something to do with X-Parasites.
It seems like it. Yeah, it seems like that's part of the story for sure.
Which is very exciting. I love Metroid Fusion.
Yeah.
I mean, I named my cat Samus. I'm a huge Metroid fan. I think that is I probably enjoy the few Metroid games that exist over the Zelda franchise entirely, although I'm learning to really, really fall back in love with Zelda because we're doing this podcast.
Sure.
So what are you thinking about Metroid Dread? It's coming out real soon, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a day one physical copy purchase for me, is what I have decided. Here. I'm excited that I'll probably be able to like send it to some friends to play after I beat it. That's the nice thing, right? Like, it's a game that I'll want to revisit. Probably
5 years, yeah.
Yeah, every little bit, but I don't need to have it kind of all the time to hop into it. My guess is I'm gonna play it, 100% it, and then want somebody else to be able to enjoy it. So.
And how lucky are we? We just got the Return of Samus, and we're already getting another Metroid game, so soon. I mean,
October 8th. October 8th.
October 8th. Right. Will I be? Oh, I will have just left.
You will have just left DC. Yep.
Cool. And we're coming up on the big news that we are super excited about. Now, Ben pointed out to me that it's like I am not nearly as excited for myself because I own an N64. I have 2 N64s and I have a ton of games.
I think you have a Sega Genesis with you as well.
I got a Sega, yeah. But there it is. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So Nintendo is making a new subscription membership plan where you can get the N64 as a virtual console, which is just so exciting. You already get Star Fox, Mario Kart, Ocarina. There's another platform for me to own Ocarina on and never beat it.
Mario Tennis. Like, I don't think I ever played that.
There's Mario
I'm
Tennis.
real excited for that. But, like, play online with 4 players in Star Fox? Like, are you kidding me?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, I can't believe that they were able to figure out how to do that.
And I can't believe they pulled this. Like, I don't think anyone saw this coming.
I just got chills. They're putting the Sega Genesis virtual console.
When I just saw it, like, flip on there, I was like, are you kidding? Like,
I mean, if you've been listening to our podcast, again, we have 2 full seasons. The first season is the Zelda games on NES, and the second season is A Link to the Past, aptly named Link to the Podcast. You know that we played the Sega Genesis at our grandparents, and we played the Nintendo at home, and now we have it all in one console.
And I love that they're calling it an expansion pack.
Yeah,
like, this is such a cool,
I didn't even think of that. That's just in my vocabulary, so I didn't even like put together that is retro.
Yeah, they're just leaning into it.
Great.
That my assumption is it's going to go from 20 to 40.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming as well.
That'd be my guess. Which $20 for that. That's not a that no. Some people might, but that's not a big.
Especially
ask.
if you don't have a 64 laying around.
Yes, I think here are the games that we're starting. with,
okay.
Right? Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64. I never played Yoshi's Story. I have no idea what that game is like.
Me neither.
We have Legend of Zelda Winback, which I guess I heard is like a Metal Gear Solid style game.
Oh, cool.
Mario Tennis, and then I don't know what this game, Mario 64, this game over here on the right is. It looks like it maybe only came out in Japan based on the fact that it's in what I think is Japanese.
That appears to be the case.
I'm excited to see kind of what that game is. There have definitely been some hidden gems that they've dropped as a part of this. And then here we go again. If you're watching the video, you can kind of see we're pausing here. So we got some Castlevania games, Golden Axe, which I am thrilled to play through Golden Axe.
Too.
That's one of the games that I feel like
we played so much as a kid.
Absolutely.
And it got we probably lent it out, and it just got kind of lost in the ethos, but it is an incredible game, and I am just realizing now that it's available. I couldn't keep up when I
couldn't follow it fast enough. Yeah, exactly. But
I got a Contra game.
Yeah. And then they let us know this was huge, that they're bringing more games.
Yeah, and that's just gonna keep going. And so we'll get Majora's Mask, and we'll get F-Zero.
We get an F-Zero game.
Ooh, how exciting!
Then,
it's so exciting.
I'm just gonna. So I'm pausing the video. So we got Majora's Mask, we got Mario Golf, we got Pokemon Snap, which I'm so excited to play Pokemon Snap. We got F-Zero X, we got a Kirby game,
Kirby Crystal
Paper
Shards.
Mario, and Banjo-Kazooie, which is my partner's favorite game on the 64.
Yes.
And I am so excited that we are going to play that together.
And they're giving us, they're selling us wireless 64 and Genesis controllers, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
I like that you have to be an online Switch member to get this, which means, this is how they help make sure that, a ton of people don't go out there and just buy these for scalpers. Cause it's a lot like what Valve did with their Steam Deck hardware. You had to have a Steam subscription. Well, you had to be registered with Steam in order to reserve one of their pieces of hardware. And I like that.
Yeah, that is very cool. I dig that too.
Yeah, so what else did you want to get into here in the...
Chris Pratt is going to be playing Mario in the animated movie they're making. And I thought that it was just so funny, first of all, that Chris Pratt is going to be Mario because he's not Italian. He's just American, and you could have at least gotten an Italian American. Whatever, it's fine.
It's voice acting, yeah.
How about Guardians of the Galaxy? Is that a good one? How about Stario Lord? I think that one's a little better. I think I had another one. I should have really locked and loaded these puns a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy was great in Glass and
I am
and
so
Split.
excited that she is. Yeah. Did you watch The Queen's Gambit?
Nah, I haven't seen anything else she's in.
Okay, gotcha.
But Charlie Day is hilarious. Seth Rogen is redheaded, fire-breathing, smoke-breathing maniac. I'm very excited for him to play Bowser. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Anything else before we sign off?
I was excited for the very last thing, which is Bayonetta 3.
Oh, Bayonetta 3. I'm so
That's
sorry.
okay.
I totally
I just
forgot about
I
that.
jumped into this here just real quick.
Yeah,
fast forward
it
a
looks
little bit.
so dope.
Did you play Bayonetta 1 and 2?
No, I've
okay.
never played Bayonetta.
I played 1 and 2. And yeah, they were like, it's so much fun. It is such a fun game.
Look at her dancing.
She summons these huge demons to come fight for her. So yeah, I think the only other things that I just wanted to, shout out here at the very end, obviously, we're in the middle of a break right now. We got some really cool stuff lined up that we're really excited are going to be coming out. Patrick's going to be here in town with me in DC for a week. We're going to be doing a bunch of recording for Link's Awakening. So if you want to kind of play along with us, we're going to be kicking that off in the middle of October is when new episodes should start dropping. And just a quick plug for our Patreon. We just added 2 new features for rewards. So starting in the middle of October, we are now going to be doing a Discord for all of our Hyrule Podcaster Patreons. Yeah. We'd love for you to come hang out with us there. So there'll be information there. You don't have to be a Patreon to be in the Discord. We just want you to come hang out. But if you are a Patreon, you get some special things. And then anyone that subs over the $5 amount, the $5 and over amount, you will get uncut videos of us playing.
Yep. So if you want our audio only Let's Play to turn into a video Let's Play, all you got to do is go to our Patreon and sign up for it. Starting next season.
So that's what we have, and we are really excited to be jumping back in the hopper in just less than a week. We're going to start recording and kind of getting things going, so it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, buddy. I will see you very soon. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of
Hyrule Podcasters!
See you soon, folks.
See you soon, everybody. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of
Hyrule Podcasters.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Hyrule Podcasters and on Twitter at Hyrule Podcaster.
As always, this episode was produced by Patrick, and we'd like to thank Lieutenant Headtrip for composing original music for the podcast, including our theme song.
Additionally, if you'd like to directly support us, you can head over to our Patreon page. Patreons get early access to episodes and more. Links to everything can be found in the show notes.
And be sure to rate and review us in Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen. Odd
Conduit Media.